Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, appreciate everything you guys do. The shows are great. Um, my question comes basically more of a generality of conflicting local laws and that conflict with state laws. So the example we have here is early last year, California enacted the Freedom to Walk Act, and basically it said that it's still illegal to jaywalk and cross roads outside of crosswalks, things like that. However, they added another subsection that said it's illegal for a peace officer to stop someone for that violation, um, unless there's a reasonable person would, and not an officer, but a reasonable person would think there was a imminent threat of a or imminent crash that would occur. So if there's no collision, can't stop. Earlier this year, and we're very recent in this year, local council passed city ordinance that did not allow pedestrians to stand on medians and be in roadways soliciting for donations, peddling goods, things like that. So basically street vending. Um, there's confliction and there's confusion within the department right now is if what jeopardy does the officers put themselves in if they stop someone for that municipal code because they did not put that language in the municipal code about the imminent threat of a collision. Are we bound by the state standard or are we bound by the city standard as far as search and seizure goes?
Well, so I'm by no means an expert on California statutory law. I've taught there many times, but I'm definitely not well versed in it. But it doesn't sound like one's a jaywalking prohibition. The other is a standing in the middle of the street selling, peddling goods prohibition. So I don't think there are two different kinds of conduct that are being addressed with the statutes.
Well, essentially, they're going to be pedestrians in the roadway. Is going to be
Okay.
the violation that you would cite the person for. Is the violation they're telling us that would be the citation would be the vehicle code section for pedestrian in the roadway for the violation of that.
Oh, I see. I see. So the charge for that person is the statute under state law that says you can't make it a primary stop. Interesting.
Right.
Why don't they just
So
put why don't they just put a sanction, a criminal sanction or penalty sanction under the ordinance and just to be done with it? I don't know. That's interesting.
right, but I just didn't know if we were running into anything where if the state says the pedestrian can be in the roadway as long as they're not causing a collision, and the
Yeah.
city comes back and says they're not, are those conflicting, or are the officers going to be good to enforce that municipal code by itself without the state statute being
Yeah, Gregory, this
brought
is
in?
a great question. This is fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're putting you in what's called a jackpot.
Well, yeah. Not to mention the biggest culprit or the biggest intersection we're talking about, 6 lanes either direction. So
Right.
it's
So here's what I'll tell you, and I think Zach's point is a good one because I think, he and I were on the same page. If you have a city ordinance that says you can't stand in the center median, well, that has nothing to do with the Freedom to Walk Act, right? Obviously, you cite them for violating the city ordinance, but then you turn around and tell me you can't cite them for the city ordinance. What you cite them for is the state law that previously the Freedom to Walk Act has said officers cannot cite you for unless you are going to cause a collision.
well, I think the ordinance is within the Freedom to Walk Act as the statute for the vehicle code that allows the local authorities to adopt ordinances prohibiting pedestrians crossing roadways other than crosswalks has that language in about not being able to stop them. So it seems like it's there, but it's also not there. So just as far as exercising caution, if an officer were to stop citing that Unicode, could they be expected to know that state code, and are those two related, or are they both freestanding ordinances? I guess is my question when it comes to seizing that person, detaining that person for one violation that seems like it contradicts another.
So again, I would have to read them, but if I can cite them for the city code, then I am not citing them for the state law. Is that correct?
Right, but the state law that authorizes the city code is arguably got the same language in it, so they just didn't put that language in the meeting code.
Right. The same language I think is irrelevant. What the Freedom
Okay.
to Walk Act is saying is that you can't jam people up for the violation of the, like, is it civil traffic code? You can't jam people up for the
Right.
civil traffic code. It doesn't say you can't jam people up for your own city ordinances.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with what John said. Without having the statute in front of me, the ordinance in front of me, and the Freedom to Walk Act and the traffic section you're referencing, it's kind of hard to give a definitive answer.
Review all those in detail, will you? And then type something up for us. I'd like maybe 3-4 pages on it.
3 or 4
On my
pages,
desk by the
single
end of the
space
week.
and 10 font. I got that for you.
Love California.
But backwards of pig Latin. I'll get that for you.
No, California's got some real issues to deal with here, right? And the thing that they're dealing with is the Freedom to Walk Act. That's what we're going to
Oh,
make
no,
a
trust me.
priority in the state of
It's-
California.
It adds up. Yeah, it's all compounding. So all the stories you hear are true, but it's definitely compounding with the minor stuff that leads into the bigger stuff.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys taking the question.
I feel for you guys out there. I really do. Best of luck to you.